Okay, all right. I said I was gonna make this video really quick. Really quick. This video is actually inspired by a commenter. We got a commenter by the name of Bobby No Brain Briscoe. Bobby, that's gonna be your name today. Bobby No Brain Briscoe. Bobby said, is he really trying to debunk our preeminent scholar, Dr. Claud Anderson? Really? Bobby, we all can read. If it's false, it's false. If it's real, it's real. He must be clout chasing. No, Bobby, I love America. I know you're going to talk about me because I love America. But what makes him an expert on historical constitutional law and the dilemmas of the black experience, except on a myopic level? Oh, I can't read, Bobby. I ain't allowed to read and just share the facts. What credentials does he have? I can read, Bobby. And where did he come from? Inquiring minds want to know. Bobby, I come from the same place you come from. I come from your daddy loins into your mama's vagina. Out of her we come. His man Thomas Jefferson and his man James Madison. Why are these people being referenced to as his man? That sounds like some plantation slave shit right there. I know it, Bobby. I know it was coming. Call me a coon, Bobby. These two fools were slave owners. All right. So let me take this away real fast. I know, Bobby. I know they were slave owners, Bobby. I know they were. But here's the thing, sir. If information is incorrect, then it's incorrect. Nobody's above reproach. Nobody like you ain't allowed to make a mistake. What man hasn't made an honest mistake? And see, here's the thing, Bobby. Here's the thing, Bobby No Brain, because I want you to use your brain, man. Let me find out you the yes sir because you like a person. Therefore, you can't critique and honestly say it was an error when you like a person. Come on, man. This ain't about the person. This is about the information. The person just happened to present the information. This ain't about the actual person. So you're going to see a quote here, Bobby, from Davis Kenneth. Don't know much about history. Oh, so when he started talking about Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, the primary drafters of the Constitution and Bill of Rights had no intentions. Right? What does it say? Had no intentions of providing freedom and the blessings of liberty to black people. I'm saying that's false. I can say that. And I'm going to prove it, Bobby No Brain. Okay? So, this is what I want you to do, Bobby. I'm going to share my screen with you. I'm going to share my screen so we can see what it is I'm talking about. Where we want to go first? Do we want to go to Let's go to the rough draft of the Declaration of Independence. Now, Bob, I want you to look at the very top at the URL. That means Library of Congress, Bobby. I'm not quoting no book called Don't Know Much About History. I'm not quoting nobody, Bobby. I'm going to the Library of Congress. And at the Library of Congress, sir, this is a draft of the Declaration of Independence. Okay? Now, as we come down to this particular highlighted sentence, this whole paragraph was taken out of the Declaration of Independence that we have now, Bobby No Brain. And he's talking about, this is Thomas Jefferson, he's talking to King George about slavery. In fact, read the first sentence, Bobby. Let's read it together. He has waged cruel war against human nature itself, violating its most sacred rights of life and liberty in the persons of a distant people, that's us, Bobby, who never offended him, captivating and carrying them into slavery in another hemisphere. Bobby No Brain, Thomas Jefferson is talking about you. He want to help you, Bobby No Brain. or to incur miserable death in their transportation thither. This practical warfare, the opium of infidel powers, is the warfare of the Christian king. Notice he put Christian in all caps because he's checking King George morality. The Christian king of Great Britain, determined to keep an open market where men, not women, men should be bought and sold. He has, here you go, he has prostituted his negative for suppressing every legislative attempt to prohibit or restrain this execrable commerce. Bobby No Brain. Thomas Jefferson calls this an execrable commerce. Bobby No Brain. Thomas Jefferson is getting in King George ass about slavery. And that paragraph gets even deeper because he checks King George and saying that you got the audacity to enslave these people and then want to give them guns to fight against us so you can give them the liberty that you took away from them? How dare you do that? This is Thomas Jefferson doing that. Okay, Bobby No Brain. Now what I want to do, sir, I want to bring your attention, because remember, he said that he is fighting against legislative powers or legislative rules, and he's been ducking it. Okay? So let me, bring your attention to the Land Ordinance of 1784, Bobby No Brain. Guess where this comes from? The Senate. Again, I'm not going to tell you what somebody else said. I'm going to take you straight to what's in Congress, Bobby. So if we can see right down here in the middle of the screen, it says the number 5. Point number 5 says that after the year 1800 of the Christian era, there shall be neither slavery nor involuntary servitude in any of the said states, otherwise than in punishment of a crime, okay? When a party has been duly convicted. So here it is, and this is called the Land Ordinance of 1794. I'm sorry, 1784, okay? So here we see, Bobby No Brain? We see Thomas Jefferson introducing this new territory called the Northwest Ordinance. But this Northwest Territory, hey, no slaves should be allowed there. Come on, Bobby No Brain. But see, I thought I showed you this, Mr. Bobby No Brain. Hold on, let me go show you something. Let me go show you something, Bobby No Brain. Let me show you something here. Let me see if this is it right here. What is this? Oh yeah, right here. Check this out, Bobby No Brain. Article 1, Section 9 of the United States Constitution, because you just heard, you just saw what Dr. Claud Anderson said. He said Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, the primary drafters of the U.S. Constitution and Bill of Rights, had no intentions on providing freedom and the blessings of liberty to Black people. The Constitution did not have this intention. I say bullcrap. Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution. Where we at, Bobby? This is the Constitution at the Congress.gov. Again, I'm not giving you what somebody else said. I'm telling you and showing you what's on the record with Congress. So notice Article 1, Section 9, Chapter 1.1 says restrictions on the slave trade. Interesting. The migration of importation of such persons as any of the states now existing shall think proper to admit shall not be prohibited by the Congress prior to the year 1808. So in other words, the Congress is not going to stop you from having slaves before the year 808, okay? Anything after that, a tax or duty may be imposed on such importation not exceeding $10 per person. What happened on January 1, 1808? Because, see, Bobby, this was 1788 when this was written. So in 20 years, sir, is going to be 1808. In 1808, what went into effect? Yeah, the act prohibiting the importation of slaves went into effect on January 1, 1808. Who signed it, Bobby No Brain? Who signed it? President Jefferson. That's why I call TJ my man, Bobby No Brain. So now, I proved through legislation, and I got a whole bunch more. Thomas Jefferson, and hold on, he said James Madison. Well, James Madison is considered the father of the Constitution, but Article 1, Section 9 is that's part of the Constitution, right? So this is what you have to prove. You have to prove to me that those documents that sit with the Senate in the Library of Congress, the land ordinance, Thomas Jefferson he didn't say he wanted to free slaves. I just showed you he did. So that's going to be a hard one, buddy. Okay? And then he signed a law to make it illegal for the importation of slaves into America in 1808. That's a law that he signed off on, Bobby No Brain. So how can you disprove that? The Constitution I just showed you said they was going to interfere with the institution of slavery. Come the year 1808, come, in 20 years. As soon as it got here, that's exactly what they did. Thomas Jefferson was a writer of the Constitution, and then he happened to be president when that timeline got here, and he executed Bobby No Brain. See, Bobby No Brain, if white people at that time thought that, hey, if it was a plan for all of them to be in power forever, you wouldn't have never been free. Slavery just would have been the predominant thing all throughout the colonies, and it was never the predominant thing all throughout the colonies. And furthermore, why would you say all men are created equal when you and your homeboys got an agreement to come in at y'all running shop? Why you got to say all men are created equal and that they are endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights, that among them are what? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Wait a minute. Why do you have to tell that to your power structure, Bobby No Brain? It don't make sense, man. So although I'm joking, right? If you really want to have this conversation, I can drop a link. We can get together, comment below, and say, "Hey, bro, let me go study up. Let me go bring some sources to prove to the contrary." Okay, I'm with it. What are you gonna say is he had slaves? That's so easy to understand. That's so easy to understand. It's called inheritance, man. Okay, what was the actions? Look at the laws that was passed, bro. Huh? Look at the intention that was going on. Okay. So the burden of proof is now on you. This ain't about who I am. This ain't about none of that. My elder ain't about none of that. Is the information I just showed that's sitting on Congress, on the congressional record, is it false? And we know it's not. So now what do you say, sir? What you say, Bobby No Brain? See, don't be one of those dudes that detract and be like, oh, you a coon. Oh, they only did it because they really didn't want to do it. They had to do it because they were setting us up to trick us later to enslave us so we could pay taxes forever. And that's the new slavery. You're going to start making up elaborate shit. Let's stick to the facts at hand. Let's stick to the facts at hand. What's in this Constitution? What's in this land ordinance? What law got passed that reflects that, the difference? These laws, everything I showed you says that this man, TJ, was riding for us. Bobby No Brain. Okay? He was riding for us. So show me something else. And if you want to have a serious conversation, let me know. Comment below, man. We'll set it up seriously. We'll set it up where we can be side by side, and I'll mute my mic. You can have a conversation. Do what you do. When you finish, say, hey, I'm finished. Boom. Mute your mic, and I can go ahead and we can do our thing. Because, see, this thing is serious, bro. Either the founding fathers had a fucked up ill intention towards us, and some did. You're just naming the wrong ones. That's the problem. Y'all don't know. You're naming the wrong ones. Or some had our best interest at heart. And I just showed you TJ and James Madison. Dude, James Madison, father of the Constitution. James Madison, president of the American Colonization Society, to help Black folks go back to the motherland if they wanted to. This is why I have this picture right here of Sierra Leone. I'm sorry, not Sierra Leone. That was created by the British abolitionists. See, the white man done more shit that's good for you that y'all niggas don't even want to talk about. So anyway, Liberia flag looks like the United States flag because Liberia was purposely created to be the motherland for the enslaved people in the Americas to go back home. And James Madison, the father of the United States Constitution, was the sitting president of that society to ensure the passage of blacks to go back home to Africa. Facts. Dispute that, man. You went, oh, they had slaves. Of course they had slaves. That was the thing to do. Their mama had slaves. Their daddy had slaves. 12, 13 years old, and they dead. Of course you're going to have slaves. Right? All right, man. I'm off of it, man. Holla at me, man. All right, Bobby No Brain. Hope you study up, man. Peace.